Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. It has been another very busy few days as Norwich City lead into their first championship game of the season against Millwall this Saturday at Carrow Road. So excited for it all to get underway. We said at the start of this transfer window that Norwich City would need a rebuild. They would need a lot of ins. They would need a lot of outs. There has certainly been a lot of ins. There's not been too many outs so far. I think that might be the area that gets busy over the next couple of weeks leading into the end of the transfer window. But Norwich City go into the start of this championship campaign with a revitalised squad, with a new squad essentially. 11 permanent signings have been made at Norwich City since the transfer window opened. 2 in the last couple of days. We'll go through those today. Mirko Topic and Jovon Makama coming in from Lincoln and Famalicão. 2, again, really exciting signings, and 2 signings that Norwich City have been after for a little while. I think that, you know, as I sit here on Tuesday, the 5th of August, with a couple of days left to the season beginning, before a ball has been kicked in competitive action, I know we've had pre-season friendlies. I actually think my one criticism of this summer would be this pre-season schedule. I don't think it's been great. I think Liam Manning has kind of said on record that he's not loved the pre-season schedule. It was planned for Johannes Topić. They didn't have time to switch it around, or at least that's what they say, before Liam Manning came in. So 2 games in a day against certain teams, just don't think it was ideal. But it is what it is. Norwich played NEC Breda at the weekend. They won 2-0. Ante Sinats, Josh Sargent scored. That was probably the team most likely to start, or at least very similar to this weekend. And it looked good on paper. And you've also got a lot of new players that might be added in. I think that cup game against Watford on the Tuesday night comes at a really good time. I think Norwich will look to experiment in that a little bit. We'll look to give game time to some of the new signings. But as I sit here with a few days before the championship season gets underway, it will be easy to say with hindsight when we're 6 months in and go, oh, this was a great window. That wasn't a very good window. I think this has been a really good window for Norwich City. They've gone out. They've got the signings that they want. They've been able to attract players here that maybe had lots of interest elsewhere. I think actually looking through this list, most of the players had interest from elsewhere. You look at Papa Amadou Diallo, Watford, Mirko Topic had interest from elsewhere. Jacob Wright, great signing from Manchester City. Jakov Medic, Harry Darling had a huge interest from other championship clubs. Matthias Kvistgaarden, the most notable in terms of stealing from another side. So it's been really successful. We haven't let too many players go at this stage. And actually, I need to add Vicente Reyes to the list. He's gone to Peterborough on loan. I'm losing track of everything. But you've got a couple of goalkeepers you need to shift on. It will be fascinating to see what happens with Josh Sargent over the coming weeks. That interest has died down a little bit, but I'm sadly still expecting him to go. You've got the likes of Marcelino Nunes. There's been no interest in him seemingly, so we may well keep hold of him. But at this stage, I think certain areas of the pitch look slightly dense. I think the likes of Shane Duffy, Brad Hills, Anis Ben Slimane, players like that may well leave the football club. But in terms of incomings, I think we're pretty much done. Maybe one more, maybe in that kind of left wing area. I know they've been interested in the Premier League loan market a little bit, and I think that will be left late if they dip into that. Louis Kumas, we had Abdallah Sima linked last week, so watch out for that. But I think the bulk of the squad is done. And let's have a look at the signings that were made over the last couple of days. We'll start with this fella, Mirko Topic. Really excited about Mirko Topic. Now, it was between him and Pelle Mattsson. Mattsson just kept rumbling on and on and on. It kind of turned into the Quagliarella transfer rumour in the end for Norwich City. The 2 clubs couldn't get a transfer agreed. I think the player certainly wanted out, and he's now got a slightly awkward situation on his hands at Silkeborg because he's been saying all summer how he wants to leave. He didn't get the move he wanted to Norwich City, but Mirko Topic did. £3.5 million. I think it's initial $3 million rising to $3.5 million with add-ons, coming in from Famalicão out in Portugal, where he's played for the last couple of seasons. Before that, he was in Serbia with Vojvodina. He played 34 times last season. He played 35 times the season before. He's not a goal scorer. He is a out-and-out brute of a defensive midfielder. He's tall, he's strong, he is a destroyer. Exactly what Norwich City need. Strong, tall, defensive midfielder that can break up play. How much have we said that over the last few years? We were made greedy with Alex Tete and Oliver Skip and those types who are so important, particularly in the Championship. If you're looking to win games, so often last season we were flimsy defensively, really flimsy. And yes, that was part defence. Yes, that was part goalkeeper. But the ability for teams to just stroll through us at will was really alarming. And you could see that we needed a defensive midfielder. Mirko Topic is the man to do this. I really like this signing. Look, he's 24 years old. Player profile, tick that off your bingo card, fits that bill nicely, young, hungry, just looks cut out for Championship football, just an absolute brute. And like the fact that for the last 5 seasons really hasn't really missed a game, clearly a very physical, fit athlete. Mirko Topic will fit right into this Norwich City side. And if you watched last week's podcast with Jacob Wright, which thanks so much for the support on, you guys have loved that. Jacob Wright said that he wants to add more goals to his game. And I thought that was interesting because he will want to play in a slightly more advanced position. I think we just assumed that Jacob Wright was a bit more of a defensive midfielder. I actually think he wants to be higher up the pitch, box-to-box type, and he will be allowed to get that freedom now with Mirko Topic in the side. So £3.5 million for this guy, Serbian international. Really, really excited about Mirko Topic. I tell you who else I'm excited about. This guy, Jovon Makama. £1.2 million coming in from Lincoln City, signing from League One. We've not made many of those over the last few years. You have to kind of look back for when we were regularly making them to the Paul Lambert days, and how successful were they. I like this signing. Jovon Makama, again, very young. He is 21 years old, born in 2004. How is that a thing? That makes me feel old, and I'm not even old. 2004. My goodness. Would have just about seen Greece win the Euros. 1st of February 2004. Doubt he remembers it. Look, I really like this guy. A striker, can play out on the left, can play out on the right. Norwich City needed bolstering on the left-hand side. Borja Science is obviously gone. You've lost Lewis Dobbin. You've lost Onel Hernandez. We may well lose another this summer. This front three, I assume we're playing a front three, we'll see come Saturday, is going to be fascinating. But you've got a lot of talent in those areas now, particularly on that right-hand side. Josh Sargent, Matthias Quist-Gordon, Ante Cianats will all want to play through the middle. Mate Jurisic. Who else have we got? We've got Armand Forsen, Oscar Schwartau, Jovon Makama. Can't all fit in. I assume it will be Mate actually, no, I don't think it will be. I think it will be Ante Cianats. I think it will be Josh Sargent. And I think it will be Papa Amadou Diallo that starts against Millwall. Right-hand side for Cianats, where I think he actually wants to be a 9, but I think Manning will try and play him out on the right-hand side again. If Josh Sargent is still here, which it's unlikely he's going to be gone before Saturday now, famous last words, he will play through the middle. You have to play Josh Sargent and Papa Amadou Diallo out on the left-hand side, who I think at this stage will be the number 1 left winger. That may well be up for grabs, and I think by the time that Watford rolls around on that Tuesday evening, there may well be some decisions to be made about that forward three, and I suspect it will be an entirely different front three. You might go Makama, Quist-Gordon, Jurisic. Who knows? Is Jurisic up to match fitness? I had a couple of reports from the pre-season say he didn't quite look match fit. And why should he be? He's barely played a full football match. Well, he hasn't for Norwich City. So that'll be a concern. But I like Jovon Makama. Really good season last time out for Lincoln. 11 goals and 6 assists in 45 appearances. Lincoln finished no, they didn't. They finished, where did they finish last season? 11th, mid-table in League One, in a season where Birmingham and Wrexham and Stockport County completely dominated the league. We've always been quite successful dipping into the League One market. You know, I look back to Anthony Pilkington. I loved Anthony Pilkington. Loved him. Hungry. Something to prove. Got something about them. he's been given a proper schooling at Lincoln City over the last few years. 45 appearances last season, 40 appearances the season before, a proper mainstay. Lincoln fans only have good things to say about Jovon Makama. And I think, look, is he going to be in the starting 11 from the off? No, I doubt it. Will he be thrown in the first team straight away? Yes, he will be. This isn't a development signing. They see Jovon Makama as someone that can really flourish. They see him as a top talent out of the third tier of English football. And that excites me. Low risk, potentially high reward. A nice addition to be added into that kind of front three. He will be really hungry to try and be breaking into the starting 11. So I'm obviously buzzing for Saturday against Millwall, because it will be enlightening to see how we play. I'm actually really excited for that Watford game, because it's kind of a glorified pre-season friendly, but I fancy a cup run this year. I really do, because I think we've got the squad to do it. We've got depth. We've got loads of depth this season. We always say, don't we? You always want 2 starting players in each position, and it feels like we've got it this time. Kellen Fisher and Jack Stacey at right back, Ben Crescene and Jeffrey Schlupp at left back. You've got an absolute flurry of centre backs. Midfielders, Marcelino Nunes. Does he even get in the starting 11 on Saturday? But we didn't think we'd be saying that last time we played a championship football match. So they're the couple of signings in the last few days. It takes us up to 11 for the summer. That list is really exciting. Jacob Wright, Vladan Kovacevic, Jakub Milic, Harry Darling. You've obviously got the couple more reserve goalkeepers in Grimshaw and Louis Molden, I think are an upgrade on last year's goalkeepers. They were all done pretty early, and then it just kept going crazy. Matthias Quistgarden, Jeffrey Schlupp, Papamadou Diallo, Mirko Topic, Jovon Makama. 11. I like the business that we've done this summer. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. I've got a sneaky feeling we might try and do one more, depending on the outs. I think we need to lose at least 4 players from the side. I know that Liam Manning said that Brad Hills and Anis Ben Solemane's future might not be at Norwich City. They'll want to get rid of Shane Duffy. I think they'll probably they'll definitely try and shift George Long. So there's 4, maybe 5. I think we'll see I think in terms of transfers, the busy part will be the outs now. But I said it on the podcast yesterday. I remember walking to the Kassam Stadium, first game of last season, Oxford away, and I remember seeing the team news at 2 o'clock and just going, oh my goodness, we are so unprepared for this season. And we kind of got it going, like, when was it? October time, and then it fell away. And I think ultimately a lot of that boiled down to not being prepared. I think Ben Napper's learnt a lot. Liam Manning knows what it takes in the Championship to get top 6, and he'll be looking for top 6 this season. It feels like we've built a squad that has the potential to be a real contender in the Championship this season. Now, will they all click? Who knows? Who knows? Is Matthias Quistgarden any good? Who knows? I don't. I've seen the YouTube clips. But Pueblos Wabaheta look good on YouTube clips. So I think the approach to this transfer window has been right. Time will tell if it's a successful one. But the approach has been good. I think we're prepared. And I think Norwich City are in a good place, a better place than last season, to hopefully go well. Now it's really important that we try and keep Josh Sargent in the building. That is the absolute target now. Try and keep Josh Sargent. Josh Sargent is the difference between, I would say, me feeling quite relaxed about the potential of top 6 and, it's going to be a push. Because we don't know if Ante Cianats is guaranteed to score goals through the middle. We don't know if Quistgarden can do it. We don't know if Mate Jurisic will stay fit. Papamadou Diallo, who knows about him? We know that Josh Sargent guarantees you goals if he stays fit. We shall see. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks so much for all the support on all the videos recently. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.